I never imagined one dance could turn my entire world inside out. But that night at Olivia's birthday party showed me how fast trust can fracture. My wife, Lionel, and I had been married for 6 years, known by everyone as a couple who always laughed together, always moved in rhythm. At least, that's what I believed until the music shifted. The lights dimmed, and a man named Rowan walked onto the dance floor with a kind of effortless confidence that pulled every eye toward him. At first, I didn't think twice. Lionel loved to dance, and I'd always encouraged her to enjoy herself. But the moment his hand slid to the small of her back, something tightened in my chest. He leaned in, whispered something, and she smiled. Not the polite smile she gave strangers, not the warm smile she saved for friends, but a spark. A spark I thought only I was supposed to see. I tried to brush it off. Jealousy wasn't usually my thing, but the more I watched, the closer they moved. Their steps synced too neatly. Their laughter dropped to something private. And then I saw it, a moment that crossed a line. Rowan gently tucked a loose strand of hair behind her ear, his fingers lingering like he had every right in the world to touch her that way. My friend Kel stood beside me, sipping his drink. "You all right, man?" he asked, following my gaze. "I'm not sure," I muttered. "Who is that guy?" Kel shrugged. "Never seen him, but he's bold." Bold didn't cover it. Lina didn't step back. She didn't look uncomfortable. She looked captivated, like the room had faded and only Rowan existed. Inside me, something twisted, disbelief mixed with betrayal. When the song changed, Rowan spun her, pulling her closer, their faces barely apart. Lina looked up at him, flushed, breathless, smiling like she was 20 again. And then I realized she hadn't looked at me like that in months. I started moving toward them, but Kel grabbed my arm. "Eli, wait. Don't make a scene." I wasn't trying to create one. I just needed to understand. When the song ended, Rowan whispered something to her. Lina nodded, too fast, too eager. Then she finally spotted me. Surprise flickered over her face. Then guilt. "Hey," she said out of breath. "I didn't see you." Clearly, I replied before she could explain. Rowan walked over, extending his hand. "You must be Eli. Heard a lot about you." His tone was smooth, confident, almost mocking. I shook his hand. His grip was unnecessarily firm. "Funny," I said. "I haven't heard anything about you." Lina nudged me. "Eli, stop. He's just one of Olivia's friends." Rowan chuckled, giving me a slow once-over. "Relax, man. It's just dancing." But there was something in his voice, something that said he wanted me rattled. I held myself together. For Lina, for my sanity. Everything changed 10 minutes later. I stepped outside for a breath of air. On the patio, Rowan leaned against the railing, talking to a group of people. And I heard him, clear as day. "She's married, yeah," he said, laughing. "But trust me, she's not exactly unavailable." The people around him burst into shocked laughter. My vision narrowed. Heat surged through me. That was it. I walked straight toward him. "Say that again." Rowan turned, that same smug smirk plastered on his face. "Eli, just messing around." "Chill. You don't joke about my wife." He raised an eyebrow. "If she didn't mind, why do you—" Something inside me snapped. Rowan stepped forward, shoulder checking me as if daring me. "Go home, Eli," he whispered. "Let her enjoy herself." The last thing I remember was how strangely calm I felt, how silent everything became. Then everything erupted. My fist collided with his jaw before he even registered the movement. The crack was sharp, sickening. Final. Rowan collapsed instantly. Gasps burst around us. Someone yelled my name. Someone else shouted for Olivia. Lina rushed onto the patio, hands trembling. "Eli, what did you do?" "What he earned," I said, chest rising and falling. Her eyes darted from me to Rowan, horrified. "He didn't mean anything by it. It was just dancing. He told people you weren't unavailable." I stepped closer. "Lina, is that your definition of harmless?" She froze. The color drained from her face. Her silence told me everything. Inside, the music stopped. Guests whispered, stared, judged. Olivia hurried out, panic in her eyes. "Both of you need to leave," she said firmly. "Fine." I was already done with the night. The car ride home was suffocatingly quiet. Finally, Lionel whispered. I didn't know he said that. "But you let him act like he could," I answered. She wiped at a tear. "I'm sorry, Li. I liked the attention. I didn't think it meant anything. It meant something to me. The drive felt endless. But that night shifted everything. Lion apologized over and over, and I realized something crucial. Our marriage hadn't cracked because of Rowan. The cracks had been there long before. He just exposed them. The next morning, Lionel reached for my hand across the table. "Can we fix this?" she asked quietly. I really looked at her. Truly looked. And for the first time in months, I felt a flicker of hope. "We can try," I said. "Sometimes it takes the wrong person stepping in to remind you who you're choosing to fight for." In the weeks that followed, we rebuilt slowly. Long conversations, calmer evenings, routines we've forgotten. Healing didn't happen overnight, but it was genuine. Every day felt like choosing each other again, not out of habit, but on purpose. Strangely enough, the chaos of that night became the moment our marriage started waking back up.